What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to G-Ball Vision. Thank you for stopping in. Today we have another exciting unboxing to dig into for you guys. Before we get started, double check and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I would love to have you here. And before you head out, do me a huge favor. Hit that thumbs up button. Greatly appreciate it, everyone. It really helps push the video out there so more people get to check it out. And feel free to let me know what you are carrying in your pockets today down in the comments. Love hearing from you guys. So we got another knife coming in from Real Steel here, and this is a model I've wanted to check out for quite a while. Huge shout out to them for sending this in for us to take a look at. Now this should be, yeah, their standard packaging here, a little bit of paperwork. We have a foam topper and then our microfiber cloth here with our knife going to be housed inside. So this is called the Bullet, and this is going to be more out of their premium side. Now I will have a link to this knife amongst many other knives down in the description, as well as a $15 off coupon code. Those do help out the channel if you use the links and the coupon code, but that is entirely up to you. But whether it's a budget model or a more expensive model, you can use that $15 off coupon code and help save some money. So the Bullet here, this is going to be a titanium frame lock, and we have a textured G10 onlay here on both sides, and then that should be a titanium clip as well. Looks really good, and it's got this nice little point that comes down here, so that should really help get it over the seam of the pocket. Now, I wasn't sure when looking at this knife if this fuller would be accessible, and it doesn't look like it's going to be. We'll find out, but I don't think it will be. I think this is mainly going to be a front flipper, but I absolutely love this profile here. It's a Tanto style blade, but it's got that drop point Tanto to it, similarly to the Evolution that Real Steel does. But you can see here, it is basically, it's just a hair above the pivot, but it's still going to be nice and low. So it's going to be very easy to get up on that tip for more precise, detailed type cuts. And then I love the ability to be able to scrape, chisel with this secondary edge here. And then we have a nice straight primary edge here. This one is coated, and these are going to be coming in S35VN, which is, you know, that's a bread and butter steel for Real Steel knives. Now, that front flipper is different than anything I have ever seen. There's no jimping on this. It's got a nice indentation in it, and it seems to work very well. There's no jimping though, but for the finger rollover like that, the index rollover, you can really get on that front flipper and get a lot of momentum on it. As far as using the thumb, it's going to equally be very easy because you have this nice little area to kind of go into, and then it's going to be nice and easy. Now, as far as the reach around, yeah, you'll be able to do the reach around too if you can stay off of the lock bar there. But yeah, that's a little different of a front flipper. And this is not going to be an overly large knife either. But because you have that full finger choil here, you'll be able to, you know, even with XL, double XL sized hands, you'll be able to get a nice, comfortable grip on this thing. And that is a very generous finger choil there, and it's very comfortable as well. And that should make for easy sharpening as well. The coating that Real Steel does, what is it? I'm not sure, but it seems to hold up very well. The knives that I do have from them that are coated, it does seem to hold up very well. Now, this is a design that it's kind of a first. Typically, we either see their integral or we see a full-length backspacer. This is one of the first models that I've seen that they don't have, you know, either a full-length backspacer in there or that integral steel frame. We just have a kind of quarter backspacer there. Now, I don't know, that seems to be titanium as well. So we're going to have a nice mixture of titanium on the handle here, pocket clip, and backspacer. Love this blade shape though. Let's see what this guy looks like in the pocket. We'll get our issuing stitches Hank out here and we'll give this a whirl. And that texturing on the G10 there should help keep the knife in place when it's in the pocket. So that is going to be fairly similar to a standard milled clip. You'll have a little bit poking out of the pocket there. We're going to be basically right at that 1/2 inch, maybe a little bit over, but that's going to be, this is completely by design. You can tell here that the designer of this knife did this on purpose so you can get a nice amount of surface area there to grip and pull this thing out of the pocket. It does have good retention, and it looks to be, I don't think that is going to be reversible. They typically do reversible clips, but I think this one is going to be right hand carry only. I don't see, it looks like they duplicate this side, but I don't think that'll be able to be switched because that looks to be semi-recessed into the scale there. Now, as far as getting to that cutout, that fuller area there, I don't think it's going to be possible, guys. Yeah, if it was possible, I would be able to get it out, and there's just a smidge too less room in there. Just not enough. Just not enough to get to it. So this is mainly going to be, and is intended to be, a front flipper. And there you can see there is the designer behind the knife, Tekto Knives. I have not heard of them, but this is a model that I've seen many times on their website, and just, it really spoke to me. It looked really comfortable. I love this blade shape, and it's not an overly big knife either. Since we have the little tape measure here, we can get a kind of a measurement here, but overall, we're only looking at 7 1/4. And as far as blade length, we're looking at, well, it depends on where you go to, but we're looking at like just over 2.5 inches of cutting edge. And then we'll just call it to this bottom corner here, which is going to be 3 1/4, about 3 inches to here. So you're not talking, or we're not talking about an overly big knife, but I'm not sure. I think that's, this was designed with the larger hand in mind, but, not to be overly big. Give you just enough blade to, do day-to-day tasks. And I think this is plenty enough blade here to do most things that you're going to encounter. After a certain point, it becomes less about need and more about want. So that's kind of ultimately up to you. Now, some people are going to be stuck either way because they can't have over a 3-inch blade. And, this would definitely apply. I don't know where. I think once the handle starts, that's where the blade length technically stops. So, it would be under 3 inches at that point there. Why don't we go ahead and we'll see what kind of edge comes on this thing. And I don't think we'll be disappointed, because I have not been disappointed yet by Real Steel and their knives, their edges. They do a phenomenal job. So even that secondary edge there has a nice edge on it. And then the primary edge also has a really nice edge as well. From everything I could find and everything that I've seen, Real Steel does a phenomenal job on their S35 VN. I remember last year it being tested, and it came back over the target. So they do it very well. I forget exactly what that was, but they do, the steels that they use, they get the most out of them, even down to like their N690. Maybe not the most, supreme steel, but they get the most out of that steel. And for a decent steel, it does all right. But this one is going to be in S35. And I just love what Real Steel is doing. They're coming out with a plethora of different styles, designs, opening methods, locking mechanisms. They're just doing a little bit of everything. They've put out a bunch of slip joints, back locks, detent, double detent style knives, frame locks, button frame locks. I mean, they're hitting it all over the place when it comes to the different categories of the knife world. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Oh, we forgot to test the lock. That is one thing we didn't check. So the blade is centered. The lockup looks to be pretty early, about 15% or so. And let's go ahead and we'll test this thing. I have nothing. I almost forgot because it's probably going to be a waste of time because it's not going to fail. Yeah, it's solid. I can hear it. Good to go. That's every single knife I've had in from them. And it doesn't matter what locking mechanism we're talking about. Every single one has been solid. And that's just a testament to their quality control and their tolerances. They do a phenomenal job on a cutting tool. And that is, you know, first and foremost what we are interested here in. You guys will have to let me know. What do you think of the bullet? What do you think of Real Steel? Love hearing from you guys. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. I always appreciate that, everybody. If you're new here, we release videos just like this one every single day. Hit the subscribe button, ring the little bell. That way you can be notified anytime we release a new video. Otherwise, guys, I'll throw up a couple of new videos. Go check one of them out. Have yourself an awesome day. Thank you for watching. I will catch you on the next one.